What is going on, warriors of Tamaris? Welcome to the video. Today we're gonna have a look at the brand new hero, aka SIBYL. We're gonna see all the skills, the warpets, the artifacts, and everything that you need to know about this awesome new hero. If you're new here, subscribe for more Call of Dragons content. Turn on the bell notification and never miss out. Like the video, share it with your friends, leave some comments down below. Let's get right into it. Alright, warriors of Tamaris. I am currently on a test server in Call of Dragons. The game developers have given us a maxed out account. So today I'm going to be showing you the guide for the brand new hero known as SIBYL. I have done simple testings with this hero and I think I have a good idea on how the hero works. First of all, should you invest in this hero? And the simple answer is yes. This hero can do a lot of damage through rage skills. We all know that archers don't usually depend a lot on their rage skill when it comes to fighting in the open field because of their medium range. However, when these heroes start doing their rage skills, the damage output is going to be ridiculous. You just have to be very careful when you play with them in the open field. I think she is going to be excellent. So let us check out her skills and see what she is capable of doing. We begin with the rage skill, known as Dragon Hunter Arrow. Rage cost is 1000. The attack range is medium. With every 3 normal attacks the Legion launches, it deals additional physical damage. Damage factor 650 and reduces the target's Legion's attack by 5% for 2 seconds. Maximum is 3 stacks. So this skill works just like the Lilia Infernal Flame. Let me see. When I bring out Lilia, you guys know this artifact. This artifact hits 3 times through the normal attack. This is exactly how the rage skill for SIBYL works. So when SIBYL gets 1000 rage when fighting her enemy, she's going to spend 1 second to collect a few normal attacks, and then 1 second later she's going to start casting this skill just like the Infernal Flame. So a lot of people thought they could pair up the hero with Syndrion to maximize the damage. Unfortunately, it's not going to work like that. It has been programmed to work like the Infernal Flame. As soon as she gets all the 3 normal attacks, she just goes off. Boom, boom, boom. 3 times she does damage and that's it. Skill number 2, known as Blue Blood. When the Legion launches a rally, it ignores 10% of enemy HP and has a 50% chance to increase defense by 20% for 3 seconds whenever it takes skill damage. This effect can trigger once every 5 seconds. So this skill is just related to rallying someone. Not many people are gonna use it. Skill number 3, Getaway Plan. Hero marksman units deal 15% more hero skill damage and gain 20% HP and 10% march speed. Now this is just beautiful. You're going to be fast in the open field. This will allow you to pick other points from the talent tree as well. For example, you could pick the 4% extra normal attack instead of march speed. So this is pretty good. As you can see, the hero can do a lot of hero skill damage. You're gonna have to depend on the rage. They are okay for the open field. You just have to play careful. Going on to skill number 4, known as Explosive Potential. On reaching 500 rage, inflicts defense break upon the target for 15 seconds and gains physical keen for 15 seconds. So this skill is a little bit tricky. There are 2 different functions on this skill. We have a defense break and we have a physical keen. The thing is, skills in this game tend to overwrite each other. So you have Kinara Jawbreaker. Let's have a look. So Kinara has a Jawbreaker on her awakening. This one is 20% defense. It's going to overwrite that SIBYL defense skill. We have Nico, who has a 15% defense break reduction. It is going to overwrite this 10% defense break. So you're not going to have this throughout the match. You're going to miss out on it. One thing I've also noticed is that if you have SIBYL on one march and then you have Nico Kinara on another march, when you put this debuff on your enemy, Nico and Kinara, they are going to overwrite it and you're not going to see this on your war report. So basically, when they override this skill, you're going to be left with the 40%, which means this 40% is going to go on for 15 seconds. and this defense break is gone. You don't have it anymore. You're only going to be triggering the defense break from your Kinara and your Nico. Every now and then, it's going to be popping up. So that's how it works. The skill is going to trigger once the 15 seconds runs out. As soon as you trigger it, usually on turn number 4 after you gain 500 rage, this skill is going to go for 15 seconds. Nothing you can do about it. That's because of the physical kin, the physical attack that you have here. It is going to keep this in your war report. And then when that 15 seconds is done, you can trigger this skill again with this defense break. And if you have someone like Nico and Kinara, again, they are going to override this defense break. So this is how it works. When we go to the awakening skill, I think you get extra 100 damage factor, which is added to this rage skill. Without it, it's 550. So when you awaken the hero, you get the extra 100 damage factor. So these, ladies and gentlemen, are the skills of the SIBYL in Call of Dragons. Now the question that's on your mind, is she better than Margaret? And the answer is, I can say not really. When it comes to fighting in the open field, Margaret is on a whole nother level. She is very good at doing damage in a short amount of time, and she has those crazy healing. So Margaret is just, I think, in a league of her own. However, this hero is excellent. Let us have a look at some best pairing for this brand new SIBYL in Call of Dragons. The first one that comes to mind is FALGRIM, the partner that was built for this hero. These two heroes work together. They have a lot of synergy. You get so many hero skill damage boosts from FALGRIM. So they are going to boost each other with a lot of hero skill damage. Now you're going to have to play very careful in the open field when you're fighting your enemies. Make sure you cast your rage skill, that way you can do some DPS. So this would be the pairing partner number 1 for SIBYL. Number 2 on my list, I think I would put Margaret. You can go SIBYL, Margaret with this pet right here and the advanced barbarism. I think that's going to be doing some crazy damage. Plus the healing, I think that could work. You also have someone like Kinara. Kinara, excellent with her Jawbreaker defense break. You combine that with the Snowpeak Rock, and when you have advanced concentration, you will be doing so much damage with Kinara and SIBYL. Personally, I think Kinara and SIBYL is going to be a big deal. So we're going to have to wait and see when many people unlock these heroes and take them to a good level. Another good pairing is with Nico. Now, if you're going to be using Nico, you're going to benefit in the first, I think, 15 seconds of the fight. Because I've seen the war report and it goes crazy. So basically for the open field, you're going to go, you know what? Scratch that. So we're going to go SIBYL and Nico. So what's going to happen? So SIBYL has this skill right here where she gains rage. So this one usually triggers after 4 seconds. So from second number 4 all the way up to Nico cast a rage skill, you're going to be having this 10% debuff, which means Nico is going to take advantage of this bull's eye barrage until Nico casts his rage skill. When Nico casts his rage skill, he's going to override this 10% defense, and you're not going to see it anymore. So Nico and SIBYL are going to work excellent in the first 15 seconds of the fight. But beyond that, the synergy kind of goes away because of the Nico defense break. Because the more defense break you have on the enemy, the more damage you're going to do with Bull's Eye Barrage. Unfortunately, Nico is going to keep overriding this defense break. So I can say they are good within the first 15 seconds of the fight. After that, the value kind of goes down a little bit. Now you have other excellent archer pairs in the game as well. You have the likes of Syndrion, you have the likes of Husk, you have those of Zeta, you have this hero as well, Musiang. So these are all people that you can pair up with this brand new hero known as SIBYL. We'll just have to wait and see which one of these heroes is going to be excellent behind SIBYL. But overall, the best pair is going to be Mr. FALGRIM, because they work together. They have so many rage skill boosts. It's going to be amazing. Up next, we're going to check out some of the best artifacts that you can use with this hero. It's going to depend on the person that you pair them with. The best artifact so far is going to be this one right here, known as the Iron Tusk. This is the one you use when you use SIBYL and FALGRIM. It has a hero skill damage boost right here when FALGRIM casts his rage skill, which is pretty good. And the damage output is ridiculous. You hit 5 targets with crazy damage. This artifact is going to be one of the artifacts that brings points to these pairs. I can say it's going to give you merits kind of like the Mirage Orb, because this Mirage Orb is what takes Bertrand and Tohar to the next level in terms of merits. So for this SIBYL and FALGRIM, the Iron Tusk is going to play that role as well, giving them lots and lots of merits. Now there are other good artifacts here as well. I see SIBYL Kinara being a very good pair in the future. So for some of you who want to get like a 5-1-1-1 SIBYL and use her with Kinara, I think that's going to work excellent. You can use this Rattle Spear with you. Kinara Jawbreaker is going to help you here significantly. And the good thing is SIBYL is going to cast her skill on turn number 4, pretty much with every fight. And when you have the Snowpeak Rock, the synergy is going to be amazing. You also have Nico, who can take advantage of this Rattle Spear. Now there are so many good artifacts here. You can use them depending on the person that you're pairing with the SIBYL. If you're going to be using Freyga, you can go with the Gold Crest and get some good stuff. If you want a universal artifact, you can use the Shadow Blades instead. When it comes to warpets, you have a few options, and it's going to depend on the person that you pair up with the hero. So if you're going to be using Magrat, you can use the Shadow Manticore with the advanced barbarism. Now, if you want a universal pet to use for this pairing, you're going to have to go with the Shadow Manticore as well. This pet doesn't have a restriction, and if you're not going to be using advanced barbarism, you can put something else here, like the crit rate skills. Let's go to the skills over here and I show you those 2 skills that you can put to get even more damage from your hero skills. So you have this one right here and this one right here with good attributes. You can get up to 10% from these 2. And then when you go to the talent tree for Mr. FALGRIM, FALGRIM can give you another 10% crit rate, which means you already have 20% crit rate on your heroes, helping you do so much damage against your enemies. If you're going to use Kinara, you can go with the Snowpeak Rock. It's going to work excellent with Kinara and SIBYL. Nico and SIBYL can also take advantage of this pet. Do we have anything else? If you're going to be using Freyga, you can go with the Night Rock, and it's going to work excellent. So these are some of the warpets that I would recommend for this pairing. Of course, you have some good ones here that you can use. If you want counter attack, you can go with the Venomous Lizard. That's up to you. But the best 2 pets that I see are this one right here, the Shadow Manticore, which should be number 1 on your list because you can use it with any hero. And then with Kinara, you go with the Snowpeak Rock. With all of that out of the way, let us take a look at the talent tree that you can use with the SIBYL in the Call of Dragons. So let's take a look at the talent tree that I personally would use. And it would be this one. This is the talent tree that I will use if I put SIBYL as the primary to FALGRIM. So we're going to keep going this way. This hero already has 10% march speed and FALGRIM also has 10% march speed. So you don't need to pick this one right here. It's going to be a little bit too much. From here we got the normal attack for plus 5%. I took this bull's eye. And then this is one of the selling points of this talent tree, which is Delight. It's going to help you cast your rage skill 1 or 2 seconds earlier, which is pretty good. And then from here, I decided to go with the damage dealt instead of the harvest. Because damage dealt is going to increase your counter attack damage, going to increase your normal attack damage, going to increase your hero skill damage, going to increase your artifact damage. And I think it's very good. You lose out on 1.5% defense, which I think is not too much. but 3% damage dealt is great. If you think this is not great, then just remember the Brink of War. Brink of War, your alliance is going to spend so many speed up trying to train troops to be number 1 in Brink of War just to get plus 3% damage dealt. But over here, you're getting it with just 5 points, which is good. And then at the end, you go with burst shot. Every time you enter battle, you do 150 damage. So if you want to kite people and get extra damage, this is the way to go. I personally wouldn't go with this because archers don't usually cast a lot of rage skills in the open field. They need to micro a lot because they'll be close to the mages. They'll be instantly targeted and they're always moving away. So with this one, you get the damage right away. You get some good value. Moving on to the right side of the control tree, we got the march speed over here. We get the attack. You get more rage regeneration. You get soul siphon to steal some rage. And then the last point, you put it in blind sight. This march speed reduction is going to trigger backstabber right away from the beginning of the fight, giving you 2% more damage dealt for 5 seconds, which is a pretty good thing. So this is the talent tree that I would use if I'm gonna be going with SIBYL primary. The next talent tree on the list is going to be this one right here, the one where you go full control and then half marksman. So for the control tree, we have talked about this one already. Let's keep going all the way to the end. From here, me personally, I like taking blind sight because 30% march speed reduction for 10 seconds is amazing. Let's say you see someone coming towards you with 5 marches. You hit one of the marches with 30%. The other 4 marches are going to get away fast, but one of his marches is going to remain behind and take so much damage from you and some of your other marches. So I feel like this skill is excellent. Otherwise, you can go with intimidation. So you put 4 points here and then you put 1 point here, if you just want to go with this one. And then over here, as you can see, we have this skill known as ambush. I did not put 5 points here, and there is a reason for that. This defense reduction is only 5%. But when you look at SIBYL, SIBYL has a 10% defense reduction, which is going to trigger right away on turn number 4. When this triggers, this defense reduction is going to become a waste. Where is it? Right here. This defense reduction is going to become a waste because SIBYL defense reduction is always there unless it gets overwritten by somebody else. And if somebody else overwrites SIBYL's defense reduction, yours is also going to be overwritten, which is why I decided to put some 4 points here. Reduce the enemy attack. But you pick this ambush because you want it to trigger something like the snow peak rock. If you want, that's going to be good. This is another reason for having it. And then when you keep going, you gotta go with the sage. And then at the end, I skipped reticent and went with autumn rains. When casting rage skills, a buff effect is dispelled from the target legion. This effect can only be triggered once every 20 seconds. So you know when you fight your enemies, you go in and out so you can reset this thing. This 20 seconds is there if you're fighting someone for a long time. But if you're just going in and out, it's gonna keep resetting. And you're going to remove buffs from your enemies. This is pretty good. It's a good skill. I think it's better than this one. So yep, so this is what I like to use. And this, ladies and gentlemen, are the 2 talent trees that I recommend for these heroes. You have this one and you have this one. With this one, you can make some changes here at the end. You can go with the harvest if you want. That's gonna be up to you. But overall, this is what I would use if I'm gonna put SIBYL as the primary to FALGRIM. If I'm gonna put SIBYL as the primary to Kinara or Nico, this is what I would use. Now, before I get out of here, I need to show you guys the synergy between these heroes. We have 2 brand new heroes. We have FALGRIM and we have SIBYL. Now with SIBYL, her rage skill works just like Infernal Flame. So there is going to be a slight delay depending on who you put as the primary. So if you put FALGRIM as the primary, you will have access to this amazing skill known as the focus, giving you more crit rates. But your rage skill might be delayed by just a little bit. FALGRIM rage skill is not going to be delayed, but SIBYL is going to take some time to do her rage skill. So let's go through some war reports and I can show you guys. So this first report right here, this is FALGRIM as the primary. When we go to the battle log, you're going to see that we gained our rage from here. We cast the rage skill. So this is FALGRIM. There is no delay there whatsoever. The public punishment. And then it's usually 1 or 2 seconds later, SIBYL is going to cast a rage skill. Now I'm going to push this up a little bit. So this first one was FALGRIM. And then this one right here is SIBYL. So like I said, when you gain enough rage, you're going to trigger this skill, which is right here. So you triggered softness to still. Once you trigger this skill, you need to wait and collect 3 normal attacks before your SIBYL start doing damage, which is why you see here we have 1, 2, 3. It works like the infernal flame. As soon as you get enough normal attack, you're going to hit this thing 3 times. So this is 1, 10,000 damage. This is 2, 10,000 damage. And here is 3, 10,000 damage, just right at the moment when your pet is casting a rage skill. As most of you guys know, warpets usually cast their rage skill 2 seconds after the deputy cast a rage skill. And so you can see SIBYL was delayed a little bit and she finished casting her skill right when the warpet was casting the talent skill. So we go to the next one. You can see here FALGRIM casts his rage skill. Public punishment. And then there is a 2-second delay, which should be expected. This is what happens when 2 heroes with rage skill cast their rage skill. The first one cast it, and then 2 seconds later, the second one is going to cast. And when the second one casts the rage skill, then 2 seconds later, the warpet casts the rage skill. But the rage skill for these heroes is a little bit time consuming, which is going to be a problem for many people in the open field. We already know the archers do suffer a lot because of the distance. So over here, you can see SIBYL cast her first. She got enough rage. She casted the thing. She accumulated 3 normal attacks. And then here we go. Boom, 1, boom, 2, boom, 3. So this is just working like the infernal flame. So this is what usually happens when you have FALGRIM as the primary. Now what happens when you put SIBYL as the primary? Well, let's take a look at the war report. We hit battle log, we scroll down. So SIBYL started casting on turn number 7. That's because I'm using the MARKSMAN talent tree with the delight talent that lets you get 15% faster rage accumulation. As you can see here, we only have like 4 hero skill symbols right here. So SIBYL got enough rage. So from here, she casted her softness to still, but she didn't do damage because she needs to collect 3 normal attacks before she can start doing damage. And then from the next turn, she did 1, 2, 3. Now I'm going to collapse this a little bit. So SIBYL did her casting from here. And then you guys know the rules. When the primary casts the rage skill, 2 seconds later, the deputy should cast the rage skill. So SIBYL triggered her rage skill from here. We go 1, 2. And then 3. And then FALGRIM is going to cast his rage skill in between one of these 2 together at the same time. So let's see this second one. So SIBYL did damage right here, which is 9,000. And then we check this one right here. Softness to still, she did 9,000. And then we have, okay, we go to the next one right here, which is public punishment. So this is the skill for Mr. FALGRIM. So he triggered it in between SIBYL rage skill. So if we scroll back, as you can see here, the delay is not so much. With SIBYL, you just get 1 second delay, but then everything mixes up very, very well. And she becomes kind of like a good primary. As you can see here, the pet casted 2 seconds later after FALGRIM casted his rage skill. So if you want to do quick damage, you're going to have to put SIBYL as the primary, because she lets you cast the rage skills a little bit faster. But if you put FALGRIM as the primary, he's going to give you those crit rates. And as you guys remember those 2 crit skills for the warpets, you could push your crit rate all the way up to 20%. And FALGRIM might be a better primary. However, we're going to have to test in the open field. So this is how these 2 heroes work together. One of them is going to be the better primary. It's just going to be up to you right now. Will you take the small delay and get a lot of crit rates, or will you get rid of that delay and have no crit rates? The choice is going to be up to you. Finally, I'm going to give you guys a quick demonstration. Let's go create legions and we expand this. Show you the heroes in action. So this is number 1. We go hit this Darkling and you're going to see the SIBYL skill trigger just like the Infernal Flame. So here comes FALGRIM. As you guys can see, it just hits like the Infernal Flame. So at first, she does the animation, which is right there. And then she collects 3 normal attacks. Then she hits her skill. So that is how the hero works. This one right here is the temporal dimension thing that just came with this new update. No need to show it now. And I think this is it for the video, guys. Thanks for watching. If you're new, subscribe for more content. Until then, talk to you guys in the next one. Bye bye for now.